Hi everyone and welcome. I'm recording this video the last few days of March. I think it's March 27th, 2020. And it's literally in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic situation. Now, the reason that I'm mentioning the date is because I don't know when this video will be seen. This particular YouTube channel is fairly new, and so we haven't really created a big following at this time, so there'll be a handful or whatever people to see this now. But I have a sense that a lot of people could end up seeing this a year from now, which I don't know how I have any idea of what the world's going to look like then. But my whole reason for wanting to record this, and I want to continue to do this, is to really see what's going on or sense what's going on during the actual happening of this event. So it's not in the past, it's not in the future, it is literally now. What are we going through? So now I'm in and live in San Jose, California. We have been in what they're calling like a shelter in place. Really, it's in a way, well, I was going to say it's a way of lockdown, it's quarantine. Basically, it's stay at home. Stay at home and be with your family, whatever that is, family of four, whatever. Do not go out unless absolutely necessary. All essential businesses, all businesses that are not essential are closed. So basically what's open is grocery stores, pharmacies, of course the police department, postal service, those kinds of things. And so that's open, those are open, but basically not much. And where we are right now, which is so different than where we were, and when I say we, my husband and I were a couple weeks ago, is quite interesting. So in the high-risk group, my husband and I belong in that group, I guess, because we're over 60 or over. Thank goodness we don't have other problems or respiratory problems or anything like that, but we are in that age group. And at this point in time, being in that age group, we had made a decision based on a lot of information we've seen to really not even go to the grocery store, right? Because we don't want to take that risk. So 2 weeks ago, we were at the grocery store. In fact, we started out going to Costco, and we got there, it was in the morning, mid-morning, and it was packed with people lined around the building. You could not even hardly find a place to park, and it has a huge parking lot. And that our goal was, well, we'll go to Costco, we'll stock up on what we need. We're not hoarders, we weren't looking to do that, just stock up on what we need. And we'll also go to the store we often go to, which is Trader Joe's, and get what we need there, and we'll handle this. And it ended up, we turned around, never went into Costco because that looked insane. And while we're driving back to our regular grocery store, I'm saying, okay, well, this is the way we'll handle this now. We'll just shop at Trader's like we always do. And yes, typically we go often. It's close to our house. It's easy. It's like so we'll go 2 or 3 times a week sometimes to that store. I said, we'll just do a better shopping today so we don't have to go as often, right? So maybe we go try to make it so we don't have to go for a whole week. Get to Trader's, we're doing our shopping. For the most part, we could find most things we wanted. Yes, there were empty shelves, but for the most part, it was fairly decent. There was no line to get in the store. So at that point, I think we have it handled. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. This is how we'll deal with it, and no problem. Well, within a day or two of that, it became clear to seniors that you want to be very, very careful about going out, regardless of, just because even of your age. If you're perfectly healthy, great, but you still want to be very, very cautious about going out. So then the grocery stores started to offer special hours for seniors to shop. So it was oftentimes, many of them were offering first thing in the morning before they opened to the public. At that time, too, the stores had started to reduce their hours of being open. So very shortly, within, I don't know, 48 hours of that idea, it became clear that this idea of seniors shopping early, it was the same deal. It was a line around the building for seniors to get in. And, other people could go in. They weren't stopping them. They were just trying to make this a special time for seniors. And it wasn't working like it sounded it could, at least not from our point of view. So we went from, okay, we'll shop once a week at our traders, to, okay, we'll maybe use this senior thing, but we didn't even try once we saw what was going on. Okay, now we're going to try to get groceries online. The deal with us is we're people that we don't keep a lot stored in our house or stock, because we go to the store a lot. We like fresh foods, and I don't even have a big freezer. I just have the freezer in my fridge, which works well for us because we don't do a lot of freezing, right? So now we're looking at what we do and how we do it, and how this might have to change. We start to figure out, we never really ordered online from a grocery, so now we have to go through that process, figure it out, and ends up we find a grocery store not far from us where we can pick up a curbside and order online. There was a lag of a week, but we're okay because we've been at the store. And but there's no guarantee or promise you're going to get everything you ordered. Got that? Okay. So we finally picked it up this week, and we did get much of what we needed. I mean, everything we ordered we needed, but some of the main items, the items that we really needed, we didn't get. Luckily, my neighbor, who's way younger, was happened to text me and say she's going to the grocery store. Is there anything we need? And so we were able to get the things that were missing, for the most part, from the online pickup that we did. Okay, so that's there, and we will depend on her at the times that she does go to the store again, but we're going to continue trying to figure out this online, and we're getting leads of people using different online stores, etc. Reason for I'm telling you this kind of boring story is that how things are quickly changing. And what does this all feel like? It's so surreal. The other day it came to mind the saying, stop the world, I want to get off. And, I've said that many times during not so great times in my life, that feeling of like, oh God, just stop the world, I want to get off. Well, it looks like the world has stopped. However, I don't think I've gotten off, because it seems more confusing, more crazy, more scary, more surreal, even though the world has stopped. Not, stopped in the sense of so much is turned upside down. For me, what I've been doing during this time is definitely meditating more, definitely connecting more with my guides, getting insights, deeper insights, really getting in touch and aware of how I navigate through life. So before all this, I would have said, well, I'm pretty good about living in the moment or being in the moment. I'm pretty good about not dragging the past into my daily events, or not really getting so involved in the future, although definitely do. But for the most part, I would say I was pretty aware, really worked on having an awareness and a consciousness. And, if I was getting stressed over something, I could always ask myself, which I did, is everything okay right now in this moment? My answer was always, yeah, it's okay. So if I was stressing over something in the future, by just asking myself that, then I could kind of bring myself back to the present moment to some degree. Now I realize I really wasn't in the present moment like I thought I was. Well, I was doing the best I could to be in it in the way that I was, but now this present moment is literally in my face. Because I recognize from just the experience we've been through that I don't know what's happening from one moment to the next. I have no idea, because this whole thing has been kind of so quickly changing that it's impossible to stay with it in a way. It's impossible to project what you think is going to happen in the future, or how it happened in the past, because there is no past for this particular pandemic that we're going through, at least not for those of us living now. We've not been through anything like this. So all of a sudden you realize that, one, the uncertainty, like you can't be certain of anything because it's just going to backfire probably on you. And so it keeps you much more in the present, in a mindset of, I don't know what's happening next. That also can be kind of triggering our survival issues, our, how do I want to say it, are we safe or not? All the people that are dying from this virus, it's really bringing us very close to looking at our own death and what that might feel like. There's no safe place, basically, and there's no distraction. Well, I guess you could say some people can distract with Netflix or whatever, but I think not completely. Even if they appear like they're distracting, underneath all that is this uneasiness, right? This, oh my God, what's going to happen? This listening to the news and hearing one more different thing. How many more people have died? How many more people are coming down with the virus? The struggle into trying to keep people off the street, trying to keep people safe in their homes. They've even had to close down parks, right? Because people were kind of treating this like a vacation in a way. The other issue is the whole economy, and how many people have lost their jobs already, and filing for unemployment. And there is just no safe place to turn in a way. So when I look at this, stop the world, I want to get off. I go, okay, this world stopped, but how do I get off, right? What does that even mean? Stop the world, I want to get off. What did that mean when I used to say that? What was I looking for then? It's just food for thought. I didn't even have an answer for that, except that this is a time of such change, of such a time when you are really just kind of having to be with yourself in your thoughts, without thinking that thinking, but starting to realize we're not in control. The truth is, there's always been uncertainty in the world. We just made up that things could be certain. We would just make up that we could depend on something, like the grocery store, basic stuff, go to the grocery store, no big deal. That's even being taken away, right? So what's showing up is the fact that everything's uncertain. That's the way life has been, but we've tended to make it look definitely as if things had some basic, something familiar, something you can depend on. Now that's taken away. So what we're left with basically are ourselves and our thoughts. And how do we work with ourselves and our thoughts? And how do we learn from this? And what are we seeing that is different now from the way we used to look at things? Another phrase that came up for me the other day was the phrase, let go, let God. All of a sudden that's taken on a whole new meaning to me, because we have to let go. There's no answers here. Nobody knows what's going on. One of my meditations, it was very clear that Mother Earth is basically saying, okay, enough is enough. Enough is enough of what's been going on, and took it on as a global event. That's the other thing. This is global. This isn't like just certain sections of the world only happening in a section of the world that we don't even know about hardly in the U.S., so it doesn't affect us, so we don't look. No. This is going on a global basis. The suffering and the struggling is huge everywhere, and no answers. No real answers. There's no vaccine. There is the idea of trying to flatten the curve so that the hospitals aren't overwhelmed. The health workers can keep showing up and have protective masks, etc. Well, all that is uncertain. All of it is uncertain. So I think for myself that this is a time of great opportunity. It is a time where we're literally forced to be quiet, be with ourselves, to get rid of all the distractions out there and start to look within. Really look within, really get clear on what is this life really about and how have I been living it? And how is this going to change everything? You know, people talk about getting back to normal. I don't think we're ever getting back to what we thought was normal. There's going to be a new normal. What's that going to look like exactly? I have no idea. But it is going to look very different, right? This thing isn't ending as fast as everybody was thinking or being told it might end. When we first went into this shelter in place thing, which is now, we're in the second week, we were told will be this way until, I think it's April 7th, so like 3 weeks. There's no way that this thing's going to be lifted in 3 weeks. It could be lifted, but you'd have to be crazy to go back to normal. So all of it is uncertain. Nobody knows really the answer to this. Nobody. There isn't the authority that has the secret answer to how to deal with this. People are extremely scared, stressed. The collective is in huge amounts of fear. And the question is what's real, what's not real, what's fact, what's truth, what's not fact. It's all of it happening all at the same time. So at this point, what I'm saying to anybody that's listening to this right now in the midst of this crisis is really take this opportunity to look within. If you haven't meditated, don't even use the word meditate. Just sit quietly and see what kind of gets revealed to you. Our guides, and every one of us have guides, are talking to us all the time. But we're distracted, we're busy, we're in our own world. We're thinking we're in control, I'm going to make this and that happen, so we don't hear those guides, except every once in a while where we have this insight, or that sixth sense, as it's called, or a certain kind of intuition where we kind of get that hit over the head. Oh, don't do that, or do that. Go here, go there. So the intuition is always functioning, we're just not listening. This is the opportunity to really listen because we're at ground zero, right? We're at ground zero. Nobody saw this coming. Nobody had a clue, right? Several months back, many months back, you were just doing your thing. Even with the situation when it started in China, none of us were realizing where this thing was going to go, how it was going to travel. Nobody. It was a China thing, right? It's like overwhelming on some level, all the shit that's coming up, all the stuff, looking at my stuff, looking at my beliefs, looking at where did those beliefs begin, looking at what's under all that, looking at my survival issues, where do I feel safe, why don't I feel safe, really deeply examining all that. That's what I encourage you to do, to really take this opportunity to really look deeply within yourself. I'm not saying that's easy, and I'm not saying this is an easy time. You're kind of forced to be at home without any opportunity to go out, and you can go out in your own backyard if the weather's nice, but other than that, you're not going anywhere. You're amongst your family, whatever it is, and some of you are alone, and that's very frightening as well. So many things are happening, like whoever is now ready to deliver a baby, The husbands aren't able, at least here in California, from what I've understood, husbands can't go with you because they don't, because the hospital's trying to obviously keep as many people out as they possibly can, unless those that need the services. So you've gone to all these classes about delivery and with your husband, and now you got to do this on your own. I think I heard something about even they were giving the mothers choice, but that they maybe should also not be in contact with their baby in case they've been exposed to the virus and haven't yet shown the symptoms. You can't make this stuff up, but sometimes it's made up in movies, like the what if, or imagine if something like this happened. Well, it's happened. It's happening right in this moment, and we have no clue where this is going. I have no clue about how many people are being impacted and have been affected because they've lost a loved one. How many health workers, doctors, nurses will actually give up their life to fight for this pandemic, to try to keep people alive. Bizarre. It is. But I think the focus needs to be within. I don't think I know. The focus needs to be within oneself. This is that opportunity. We're going to have a tremendous growth opportunity. We're not coming out of this as the same person that went into this. I guarantee you that. We're all coming out of this as very different people. We are all going to see some huge changes in our lives, that some will be maybe fabulous once you look back on it. Others may be another learning curve. Who knows? We've been kind of going through some learning curves here in California. Well, not just here in California, many places. The major fires that we've had, the most recent ones in Australia. There's been clues maybe, right? Leading up to, hello, humans, you need to start paying attention to what's going on. You need to start taking action to have a better understanding of what life is really about. I guess for me, this is, in some ways, this is, I don't know how to say this and not have it taken wrongly, but it's like an incredible opportunity to be living through this at this time. Because this is monumental. It is. And to be living through it, seeing the results and seeing how we do it, how this whole human race, because that's what we are. This is global. There's just, if you're a human, you're a human. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what race. I don't care if you're a man or a woman or a child. You're a human, okay? And even though we're all humans, from my perspective, the spiritual path that I follow is, there's also that part of us that is our higher self. It's the spirit side, the source, whatever you call it, who volunteered to come into this body, to come into form at this time, to experience this. So one other thing that I want to leave you with is, during this time, one of the tips that I can give you is recognize that you are not your fear. You are not your panic. You are not the experience, whatever that is for you. I think it's all ranges for everyone. We have all different ranges of the experience. Maybe some people are, as I've heard people at times, are avoiding it and saying it's not happening. Whatever. That's not who you are. You're the observer. You are the observer watching and watching the experience of this. Not you may be experiencing the feelings, yes, but you're not those feelings. You're not that fear. You are the observer. You are the source that's watching this. You are, a light being. There is a major evolution going on right now. And as the human evolves, we're moving outside of a very dense area that we've been in a vibration, a very, very dense vibration. And in the evolving, we're moving toward a higher vibration, which is a whole different way to view the world, a whole different lens, because it's not dense. Yet, as we all came into these bodies when we did, yes, the bodies are still experiencing the density of what we call the third dimension, as we're moving and evolving toward the fourth and fifth dimension, which, as I said, is a whole different vibration. It's all energy, right? It's all energy. But the evolution is pulling us toward that higher frequency. So that's the good news, but it's not an easy, how do I want to say, it's not the easiest path to take, but you don't have a choice. So you're either conscious of it or you're not. Doesn't matter. That's what's happening. For those of us that are conscious and feel exactly to connect with these frequencies, we're at one end of the spectrum, and then the other end of the spectrum may be a complete unconscious sense of what's going on, but regardless, it's still happening. There's an intelligence in the body. There's an intelligence in Mother Earth that as humans, we can't completely understand, but we should respect. We can respect it. That this intelligence knows what it's doing. And to the human mind, this looks insane. To the human mind, this looks like bizarre. How could this be happening? And we can only see it as a negative oftentimes when we're looking through the lens of being a human. But the truth is, this higher intelligence knows exactly what it's doing. And at some point, we'll look back and kind of grasp the meaning of this. But that point is down the road. So right now, all we can do is accept. Surrender. It's never seemed so real to me, like let go, let God. And look at it as this opportunity to be a part of this human evolution and watch ourselves closely as we continue through these challenges day by day. So I've just really been kind of speaking through a lot of times, hearing my guides or sensing what needs to be said, and that's basically kind of what's happened with this video. I don't know if I've been all over the place. I don't know if this makes sense, but hopefully it helps someone. If not now, down the road. I feel it's important that I kind of document what's really going on as I'm going through it, for no other reason than just to do that. So I will continue doing this, and I have no idea how long this is going to be going on, but each day we'll do exactly what is happening in that moment. We'll talk about where things are and how it's feeling. It's the main thing I want to do. One last thing is, for many of you, if you're feeling exhausted, that's pretty commonplace right now, because one, the evolution that's taking place is actually an energy upgrade. So the body is actually going through an adjustment period, and so that is that can be very exhausting. For others, it may be you're exhausted from worry and concern. There's a whole lot of reasons to kind of be, I guess, exhausted right now. But rest. Allow yourself to be exhausted. And if you can, you want to rest. Now, maybe you're one of the health workers and you don't have that opportunity. So you're exhausted from what you're seeing every day as a healthcare professional. Maybe you're working in one of the essential businesses. Maybe you're in the restaurants now you're part of the team that's doing the pick up or to go orders. So there's a whole lot of places that people could be other than just at home. Whatever it is, I encourage you to really take the time to take care of yourself. Take the time to really notice what's going on for you. The other thing is, I find that when I can find things to be grateful for, that helps. And to not forget to breathe. Deep breaths right now are really important. More often than not, the more often you can take that deep breath, let it through your nose, let it out through your mouth, let it out through your nose, whatever feels right. And then get grounded. And a good way to get grounded is just to really open up the crown chakra, feel the light coming through, and feel yourself grounding to the earth. We'll do more on that in one of the other videos. So, I think I've gone on long enough. Like I said, I hope this helped somebody. I hope it made sense and I wasn't so all over the place that it got lost somehow. But this is what we've got, right? So in the meantime, please stay safe. Take care. Until next time. Bye for now. Whoops, can't get this to click off, right?